hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell. Like I said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. It should be right there. It should be right there. Yeah, we're talking about P. Diddy and P. the citizens. And not only P. Diddy and P. Diddy citizens, we also talking about the letters that were sent to the judge and P. Diddy getting on the stand speaking for himself. We're gonna break all that down. And we're gonna break it down how it led to P. Diddy receiving 50 months in federal prison. But before we get started, y'all be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Yes, it should be right in the corner. We're gonna give it time for YouTube to send out these notifications. We know we got a lot going on with P. Diddy today. It's a lot of news. There's a lot of news covering this. It's just a lot going on. So we're gonna give it time. We're gonna give it time and really see what's really going on in the Diddy trial. We're gonna give it time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know how Diddy gonna hold up to this. You gotta think about it. It did it first time doing time. But Diddy has been sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. Excuse me. We're gonna let one time wind down. More seconds. Give YouTube time to go. But if y'all just tuning in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It would be greatly appreciated. We're on the road. We hit it up and we ain't going down. Boom. Voila. Man, we back, we back, we back, we back, we back. We back with another one. And y'all know who we talking about. Who we got there. Y'all seeing. He in the background. He known as Sean P. Diddy Combs. Some call him Sean Combs. Some call him P. Diddy. Some just call him Diddy. And it ain't no Diddy. But guess what? This man sentenced to 50 months in federal prison. He got sentenced to 50 months in federal prison, which it make it 4 years and 2 months in federal prison. How everybody doing? How everybody doing? I appreciate the like. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're just coming in here, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. But Diddy was sentenced to 50 months in federal prison, which it ain't nothing but 4 years and 2 months, which is a long time for a first-time offender. Somebody like Diddy, who ain't never been in trouble. We know Diddy been in trouble, but Diddy ain't never been in jail like that. But now Diddy sentenced to 4 years. How would Diddy hold up? We don't know how Diddy will hold up. Maybe go good for him, maybe not so bad. We don't know yet. But at the same time, though, it was a lot of letters going to the judge. A lot of letters going to the judge. I'm talking about 50 Cent supposed to have wrote a letter to the judge. Cass is supposed to have wrote a letter to the judge. And we know Diddy wrote a letter to the judge. But before we start to these letters, before we start on these letters, I want y'all to hit that like button for me. We got 4 people in here with 1 like. Man, can we get 2 more likes, man? That's all I'm asking for. 2 more likes, 2 subscribers. 2 likes, 2 subscribers. And we're going to break down these letters. You know what I'm saying? We're going to break down these letters. 2 subscribers, 2 likes. That's all I'm asking for. 2 subscribers, 2 likes. Okay, 1 more. 1 more like, 1 more subscriber. 1 like, 1 subscriber. That's all I'm asking for. And we're going to start with 50 Cent letter first. 1 letter. We need 1 subscriber and 1 like. Come on with it now. That's all I'm asking for. I ain't asking for much. 1 subscriber, 1 like. But anyway, here you go. We seen P. Diddy write a letter to the judge and tell the judge, man, 50 Cent. And y'all got to think about it. When you go back to 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how old y'all is or whatnot. But if y'all listen to that old 50 Cent, you know what I'm saying? When 50 Cent first came out, you know, he had some good albums. But 50 Cent and Diddy had been beefing for you know what I'm saying, for a very long time. But before the beef that I knew of with 50 and Diddy, people were calling 50 Cent a rat. They've been calling 50 for a rat a long time. And for him to see this letter to the judge or even act like he wrote a letter to the judge, 50 letter went on to say that him and Diddy been having ongoing feud for over 20 years and that he feared for his life and safety. That's the letter 50 wrote to the judge, said he is fearful for his safety of Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Say the ongoing feud for over 20 years, having fear for his safety. That's the letter from Diddy. But you also got Cassie, who wrote a letter saying that she feared for her safety. So there's two people's already against Diddy freedom. There's two people letters against Diddy freedom, but we don't know who all wrote a letter. And we also seen Diddy write a letter. You know what I'm saying? Want to apologize and all that. But me personally, who been through experiences I've been through, I ain't had no Diddy experience, but I had judges experience. But from the experience I got, if I were Diddy, I don't think today was a good day to say anything to that judge. I wouldn't have wrote a letter to the judge. I wouldn't have sit up there and said my piece. I wouldn't have did none of that. I had a bad experience from even speaking in front of a judge before, so I don't think I would have talked at all. I would let my lawyer do the talking. That's what you paid him for. You know what I'm saying? There ain't no time to speak, Diddy. I know you're a peon. I know you ain't been into it like that, but somebody should have told you. Do not talk at all. Sometimes the judge can get even angrier when they hear you talk. Hold on before we keep on going. Hit the subscribe button. I got 11 people in here, and I only got 1 subscribe. Now y'all want to run out. Every time I say hit the subscribe button, y'all want to run. If y'all listen to the content and ain't subscribing, y'all stealing. You listen to the content and ain't subscribing, you're stealing. Subscribe to the channel, man. I ain't asking for much. Just subscribe to the channel. I go live every day. And half of y'all tune in every day, but you won't subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the channel, man. Hit the like button. You hit the like button, I know you in the building. We don't care about the ones who running, because the ones who running, we'll have more coming in shortly. We'll have more people coming in shortly. But like I said, hit that subscribe button. But okay, we don't know how Diddy gonna hold up in federal prison. Do y'all think Diddy gonna hold up in federal prison? Look, that's Diddy. Do y'all really think Diddy gonna hold up in federal prison? Is he gonna hold up in federal prison? Will Diddy hold up in federal prison? Because that's where he headed. You know what I'm saying? That's where Diddy headed for the next 4 years. We don't know I don't know anything about the Fed time for good time where people get early release for being good in prison. We don't know if Diddy entitled to any good time. He may be. You got to think about it. Diddy got time coming off that 4 years before y'all get. And then another thing too, it's still an 85% law for sure that's in the Fed that been there for years. I don't know. It's still there. Might drop it down to 50. I don't know. So we know Diddy is not going to do the whole 4 years and 2 months. You know what I'm saying? He would not do the whole 4 years and 2 months. You got to account for the time that Diddy already been locked up. You got to account for that. And Diddy already with almost 2 years on his belt, almost. So Diddy will be out shortly. Just don't get it confused. You know what I'm saying? Cassie writing that letter to the judge. And a lot of people saying Cassie wasn't really hurt like that. Cassie was putting on a persona for the money. Fed, you have to do 85% of the time. Okay, so it's still 85% law. Okay. So he got 4 years and 2 months. So he'll have to bring in like 3 years, 10 months or something. Something like that around the time. About 3 years and 10 months. He done did like over a year and something. So Diddy probably have to do like another year and a half before he be released, a year and a half or 2 before he released. But will Diddy be able to maintain in federal prison? Will Diddy go to prison and it be an R. Kelly situation? Because we see R. Kelly in prison. R. Kelly, we don't hear so much from R. Kelly like we once heard. You know what I'm saying? We heard people jumping on R. Kelly one time. The last thing we heard about R. Kelly, they saying R. Kelly was they tried to set him up for the failure to get him taken out. That's what his lawyer and everybody else took to media. But we don't know if Diddy gonna go in there and get it started, or with Diddy maintain. You gotta think about it. He bad boy for life. He bad boy for life. You know what I'm saying? It might be people who tune in to him are taking liking to Diddy. We never know. We never know. But 50 months in federal prison for Diddy. You know, people thought Diddy, they had it all bad for Diddy. They thought Diddy gonna get 11 years. But you know they can't sentence Diddy to the maximum sentence. You can't get sentenced to the maximum sentence and you're a first-time offender, because Diddy is a first-time offender. He's a first-time offender. He got a good legal team, but I just can't see Diddy. Why would they pimp Diddy and send Diddy to prison for 50 months? See, I'm gonna tell you what's going on. They really got mad at Diddy. They really mad at Diddy. If you realize Diddy had to fight the prosecutor, and not only the prosecutor, he had to fight the judge too. Okay, it seemed like a steep sentence to me. To be honest and be technical about the situation, it seemed like a very steep sentence to me, because 50 months sentence for a first-time offender is a steep penalty. You know what I'm saying? I think they mad because Diddy got away. They didn't charge him with the domestic violence, and that's what they really trying to punish him for the domestic violence, basically. You know what I'm saying? But they really supposed to be handled in the lower court. And another reason they mad at Diddy because he beat all this RICO and all the rest of the stuff. They mad at him because of that. And before we let Diddy walk free, he gonna have to be sentenced to something. That's the judge thinking though. Before we let Diddy walk free, he gonna have to be sentenced to something. So that way, and they go to the back, you know what I'm saying? The judge and the prosecutor probably went fishing, and they came on with the idea. We just not gonna let him go free. You know what I'm saying? Because I just can't see a first-time offender with a charge like Diddy, with the charge he was convicted of, being sentenced. It really like a harsh punishment. That's like a harsh punishment for a first-time offender. Okay, we got Diddy charged with what he charged with, right? Think about the convicted felonies now with a firearm charge. Convicted felony with a firearm. A lot of these convicted felonies have serious offense. A lot of these convicted felonies don't have non-violent crimes. Some don't have violent crimes and they convicted felonies. And they getting caught with firearms that could be used to commit another crime. But guess what? They getting sentenced in the federal prison to 1, 2, 3 years. Way less than Diddy. We know it go higher, but I'm just telling you, it's people's in a federal prison right now, convicted felony with firearms, who ain't got number 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You know what I'm saying? They convicted felony. We don't know if they had the intention to harm someone or not. Some have been in prison for harming people. Okay, but in Diddy's situation, he got like a prostitution charge, which should be like a non-violent offense. You know what I'm saying? It should be basically like a non-violent offense. But you send it Diddy to 4 years and 2 months. It seems like a harsh punishment to me. I know Diddy got good attorneys. He got Brian Steele and a couple more attorneys. Miss Nicole, Miss Wishman, I think. He got some good attorneys. But I really think Diddy got a harsh punishment. You know, some people gonna say, no, for the thing Diddy did, Diddy deserve the punishment. He might do. But what I'm saying is, for Diddy being a first-time offender, I think that's kind of a harsh punishment for Diddy. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, no. You got people in the federal prison, convicted felonies of people who've been to prison, then got out of prison, and they getting caught with guns. But they get sentenced to 1 year. Look at Lil Boosie. He had a non-violent offense, which was like drug charges or something. He didn't have, you know what I'm saying? I think he's taking like 2 years in a federal prison. That's convicted felony with a firearm, right? Diddy got prostitution charges. And he get 50 months. 50 months now. 50 months. Okay, we're going to use Crip Mac for example. I don't know if y'all know Crip Mac. We're going to use Crip Mac for example. Okay, Crip Mac is a convicted felon with a firearm. Been in prison numerous of times. And he about to be out of federal prison for being a convicted felon with a firearm. So why Diddy charge is so harsh? Why they punishing Diddy so hard? I'm thinking West Mullane and Brian Steele, what they gonna do is they're gonna appeal the situation. I think they really gonna appeal it and hope to get Diddy in court, and maybe he'll be out. Maybe they overturn the case, but we know sometimes it take time, man. It take a year or two to even get back in court sometimes. But with the Fed, it might work a little quicker. But like I said like it's a harsh punishment for Diddy. First time offender. You know, he been in trouble, but he been not convicted of these crimes, but he like a first time offender. So why would Diddy get 50 months from the start? Why Diddy went entitled to a probation? You know what I'm saying? Think about it. He a first time offender. Why Diddy went entitled to probation? You know what I'm saying? You got a minimal. You got a minimal and a maximal. Why Diddy went punished under the minimum law? Or the minimum of 5 years? Or 50 months? It's the minimum 50 months? Tell me something I don't know. I could be wrong somewhere. It's the minimum 50 months? I could be wrong. I don't know that. I just want to know, you know what I'm saying, why Diddy wasn't sentenced to the minimum? And I know the minimum got to be probation. It got to be probation. And that's when I said Diddy shouldn't have spoken quick, because it's a lot of people mad at Diddy. From the victims, not only the victims, the people's in court. Not only the victims, but the people's in court. Lots of people mad at Diddy. But like I said, with the letter from Cassie, it's two people who wrote a letter. I think they shouldn't even wrote a letter to the judge. 50 Cent, he shouldn't have wrote a letter to the judge. Whatever him and P. Diddy got going on in the streets should stay in the streets. It should stay in the streets. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if 50 just trying to mock P. Diddy because P. Diddy going through what he going through. But what I seen on the internet that 50 Cent writing the judge or pretending to write the judge, it's just uncalled for. Why would you do that? He going through enough. Why kick him in while he down? And for Cassie to sit there and to write a letter to the judge, which I don't believe half of the things she say. I think Cassie was more guilty than Diddy. To be honest, I think Cassie was doing the same thing that Diddy was doing. Exactly the same thing. She just was doing it with no money, setting up these parties. We done heard Diddy set up the parties. She was setting up parties. We done heard her say it in court, or brought up in court, that Cassie was setting up these parties. And she walking free with a lot of money that she done, the warrant from a lawsuit, the warrant from Diddy, or whether Diddy just gave it to her. It's just wild, a wild situation. And it's just unbelievable. But for Diddy to be sentenced to the, I'm not saying he got sentenced to the maximum, but it seemed, like I said, it seemed like Diddy was sentenced to a harsh punishment. That's really how I feel. I really feel that Diddy was sentenced to a harsh punishment. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, everybody got their own feelings. Not saying that it's harsh, but for a first-time offender, Diddy getting 50 months? 50 months? Sure. Diddy get 50 months. First-time offender. You know, Boosie and all the other rappers on the other hand, convicted felony, is getting caught with firearms, would have been in federal prison or been in state prison, and they getting the bare minimum. They getting the bare minimum. Should Diddy team petition to quit? Should they petition to quit? And we see the lawyer sitting out, let's tell the lawyers and the prosecutor, y'all go find a case similar to this case, and I'm gonna make my decision based off that. That's what he said. But he the judge. He already know what he want to do. He just gave him time to really think, is I'm gonna really sit in something like this? You know what I'm saying? He basically was sitting at home really thinking like, is this enough time for Diddy? Is this enough time for Diddy? Y'all look at him now. Look at him. At Diddy. At Diddy there. 50 months. 50 months. In a federal prison. 4 years and 2 months. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think that's something Diddy and the legal team will have to sit there and battle. It was something they'll have to sit there and battle. because it seemed like a very harsh punishment to me. 50 months. I was looking at, you know what I'm saying? Not saying Diddy should have walked free. He maybe should have got some time. But 50 months is like a harsh punishment to me. It's a harsh punishment. I know Tisha Tell, she probably over there celebrating. She probably doing a little dance, but no. You know what I'm saying? But she wanted Diddy to get the script. I'm about to be out of here, man. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. I'm out. Like I said, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, peoples.